A day after the Spring Stampede pay-per-view, WCW set the stage for the night with a massive boost of returning star power, hyping appearances from Sting, Savage and Piper all coming up tonight, with Sting out first for a promo saying that many people tried to put him out over the years but nobody could ever do it, making inside references to people claiming to have backstage power and responsible to building the company when he was the only one who has been there through all this time, saying that WCW is his backyard and if anybody can claim to build this house it's Sting, ending by challenging Dallas Page for a match tonight. Followed by 2 matches of Ray vs. Juventud for the Cruiserweight title and Bigelow vs. Morris in a kendo stick match. Page was out for his follow-up promo a day after winning the world title for the first time after Savage's interference. Page, who started the turn a few weeks earlier, cut a subtle heel promo saying that he wasn't supposed to happen but still made it to the top, responding to Sting's challenge saying that he deserves a shot but it won't be tonight, instead challenging Scott Steiner for the feud blow-off match in the main event. Seconds from 9 p.m. Ric Flair walked to the ring with Anderson and Robinson a day after losing the belt, saying that Sting and Page are coming out and making title matches on his show without telling him and he's holding up the title, bringing out Randy Savage to a massive ovation, making his TV return full-time for the first time since being written off for knee surgery in June of last year. Savage started the promo with a reference to Rock saying that he's gonna lay the smackdown for him right now, coming after Rock's memorable promo imitating the top WCW headliners' catchphrases back in December, telling Flair that what happened last night is final and signed by the company, as Flair responded telling Savage that he's not reinstated and never gonna wrestle in WCW again, setting up a George vs. Robinson match for the next pay-per-view with Savage's return on the line. Moments later Sting came out to get in Flair's face and challenge him for a match tonight, saying that since Page is dodging him he's gonna take out Flair instead, setting up Sting's in-ring TV return for the first time in over 5 months, as WCW with the Big Star Power segment opened with its highest rated opening quarter in a month, doing a 4.3 rating. The corporation opened Raw in front of over 14,000 at the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. Shane introduced the corporation as the greatest group of talent ever assembled in the company before welcoming 2 new members with the Mean Street Posse, just as Shamrock took the microphone asking Shane where was the corporation when the Ministry kidnapped his sister last week, with Shane putting the blame on Taker before calling out Stephanie to the ring. Vince got mad at Shane for putting Stephanie in danger to set up Shane's turn promo after the last few weeks of build-up, asking Vince where his priorities are before also burying JR on his return to the Raw commentary table for the first time since early December, telling Vince that he brought JR back when he can barely speak, telling him that he will fire him on the spot if Cole wasn't just as bad, before telling Vince that somebody else is getting fired tonight as the new corporation doesn't have a place for geriatrics, with him firing Patterson and Briscoe. Vince told Shane that he's on a power trip, with Shane asking where is the real ruthless Vince McMahon, as Vince told him that if he wants real power he will have to earn it with respect, ending up with Shane slapping Vince to the shock of everyone in the ring and the crowd, with Shane officially taking over the corporation and Vince turning babyface in the process. A minute into a tag match, Nash walked to the ring taking out both teams before cutting a promo reminding Flair that they had a deal last week, with Nash getting a title shot at the Slamboree pay-per-view if Flair walks out of Nitro with the belt, telling Page that after what he did to Hogan last night he's soon gonna take him out Wolfpack style. Meanwhile, Raw jumped over 800,000 viewers for the follow-up reactions of the Shane-Vince slap, with Vince taking Stephanie and leaving the building, along with Rock setting up the show long angle telling Shane that he's going to get some fresh air, followed by Sable coming out with Nicole Buss as a bodyguard taking out everyone involved in what was scheduled to be a 4-way match for the women's title, with the quarter bumping Raw into the 6 rating range with a 6.4. Next on Nitro was Kidman vs. Psychosis going 8 minutes, followed by Bill Goldberg coming out for a promo a day after getting his win back against Nash, saying that since entering the company he took out everyone in front of him but made a few mistakes which he corrected last night. Moving on to Bret Hart with his first comments on the metal plate angle in Toronto, telling him that he doesn't care if he's retired or not as he's gonna find him and take him out, targeting every challenger on the way to winning back the belt, saying that now he is the hunter. Bret Hart meanwhile continued to work the retirement angle as a shooting several media interviews during the week, saying that his contract allows him to leave the company on December 1, '99 or roll it over for the remaining 2 years of his deal, but with Bret still not opening the door for a return to the WWF after a recent Owen interview hinted that it might be a possibility. Going up against it, Steve Austin arrived to the building going straight to the ring to call out Rock. Austin hyped the Rock rematch at the Backlash pay-per-view, telling him that if he thought WrestleMania was something, he's gonna take it to the next level in 2 weeks. Austin threatened Shane to do his job as the special referee before saying that 2 weeks is too far away, telling Rock to bring his belt or he will drag him out, just as Rock showed up standing next to a bridge outside in Detroit, telling Austin that he's not gonna throw his belt to the water like Austin did a year and a half ago, as he's an opportunist, giving Austin a chance to find the bridge and get his belt back, starting the chase with the segment bumping Raw to a first-hour high 6.5 rating. WCW closed the first opposed hour having Booker vs. Rick Steiner going 5 minutes, along with Scott Steiner coming out for a promo to hype the main event against Dallas Page later tonight, while at the same time Raw had Billy Gunn vs. Val Venis going 4 minutes with interferences from Owen and Jarrett. With the company set to return to national television on the UPN network in 2 weeks, the name of the TV special came out during the week, with the show named based on Rock's catchphrase SmackDown, which also became the most imitated catchphrase in the business in the last month, with both Dusty Rhodes and Randy Savage using it in their promos on WCW television. The show would also see WWF beating WCW with wrestling's return to network TV in almost a decade after WCW's deal with NBC fell through in the final stages of negotiation. Bill Goldberg was back out to start WCW's third hour in a match against Kenny Chaos, with the match even unadvertised bumping Nitro over 800,000 viewers to a 4.4 rating, with WCW's third hour rating with a 4.6 overall, the highest rated opposed hour for WCW since February 22. After being written off TV in an injury angle with Page injuring his knee during the Spring Stampede main event, Hulk Hogan made his first public appearance since the pay-per-view as a guest on The Tonight Show on Friday night. Hogan, who the last time on The Tonight Show in November '98 announced his retirement from wrestling, said that they misheard him as he said that he was tired, not retired, while also talking about his babyface turn, saying that the crowd wants him to be a good guy again, with his return date to weekly television still unknown. Raw's top-of-the-hour segment saw a Jarrett and Owen vs. Acolytes tag match interrupted by Taker and the Ministry, with Taker targeting Debra as a message to McMahon, saying that it's Vince's fault that he's gonna take out Debra since Stephanie left the building, bringing out Shamrock for the save, with Taker telling him that Ryan is in the boiler room to set up a trap with the Ministry. After the Goldberg match, WCW took 2 commercial breaks in the next quarter to set up the hyped Flair vs. Sting match to go uninterrupted coming next, with the quarter seeing the entrances and start of the match, while Raw jumped to its peak audience of the night, having an IC title match with Godfather against Goldust in a match scheduled to be against Bossman, who took Godfather's offer, going 4 minutes with him winning the IC title, followed by Shamrock getting to Ryan in the boiler room before being attacked by the Ministry, with the quarter jumping over 700,000 viewers to a peak 6.8 rating. Sting vs. Ric Flair. In Sting's first match since October '98 went 14 minutes, with Sting and Flair going through every old-school spot in their series of matches over the past decade, and as it often did, the proven Sting-Flair combination picked up big again to bring Nitro neck and neck with Raw, jumping over 1.6 million viewers to a show-high 5.5 rating, going within a tenth of a rating point from equaling Raw and WCW's highest quarter in almost 3 months, ending up with Sting going over after Randy Savage's interference, with Sting taking out both Flair and Anderson to establish him full-time on TV going forward. While Nitro jumped big for the Sting-Flair match, Raw dropped to a show-low 5.6 rating head-to-head in the quarter between 10:30 to 45, having Holly vs. D'Lo and Taker sending a message to an unconscious Shamrock backstage. After hyping his appearance since the start of the show in another star power boost on the night, Roddy Piper made his TV return to a big reaction as a special guest announcer for the main event. Dallas Page and Scott Steiner came out to open WCW's final quarter of the night, starting with both dropping the World and US titles to start fast with a brawl before taking the final commercial break of the broadcast at 10:52 p.m. Raw's final quarter featured multiple angles, first with Taker and the Ministry coming out to put Shamrock on a cymbal, before Taker ordered the rest of the Brood to also put Christian on it as punishment, ending up with Edge and Gangrel siding with Christian to start an in-house Ministry brawl, giving Shamrock enough time to escape, followed by a tag titles match with Kane and X-Pac defending the belts against Triple H and Test, going 6 minutes, with Raw picking up over 800,000 viewers back into the 6 rating range during the segment. Scott Steiner vs. Dallas Page went 14 minutes, crossing over the top of the hour into a 6-minute overrun, after the last few months of heated feud including the involvement of Page's wife. The match put in the main event spot for the title was the program payoff, with Kimberly hitting Scott with a chair shot into a cutter for Page to go over, with the match jumping over 1.1 million viewers to a 5.4 rating, as Nitro overall drew its highest rating in over a month with a 4.4 rating. Raw's overrun saw Shamrock coming back out to challenge Undertaker to end it in the ring tonight, with the lights going out to start the Taker-Shamrock brawl until the Ministry ran in for the save, setting up the corporation turning on Shamrock after he sided with Vince 2 hours earlier, with the show closing angle seeing one of the most memorable moments in Raw history, with Rock and Austin brawling on the bridge to end, with Rock throwing Austin and the belt off it to close the show, with Raw overall jumping back into record territory, drawing a massive 6.3 rating.